Well, welcome to another student success interview. Here we have my student Yann. Yann, thanks for jumping on the call today.
Yeah, hello, Adam.
Yeah, so thanks for jumping on, like I said. So let's just kick things off. Obviously, you've been doing YouTube for a little while now, and I guess the first question I always love to ask is, why did you start YouTube?
Yeah, so it's simple. I was tired of having customers. Always tried to start a business by myself, and after failing with drop shipping due to the COVID, I was doing good. But then the next thing that popped like 2, 3 years after was YouTube, and I was thinking even digital products and yeah, YouTube was really like on top for me, so I jumped in. Yeah.
Yeah, so you wanted to basically build like a new stream of income. You saw YouTube as a good opportunity, and you kind of wanted to
Yeah,
see what
yeah,
that had in store, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly,
Excellent.
exactly.
I think a lot of people can resonate with wanting to build an extra income. It's kind of cool that people are starting to see the opportunity that
Mhm.
there is like actually ways outside your job to make money. But one thing you said is like you didn't want to have clients or bosses anymore, which I
Yeah,
think a
yeah.
lot of people can resonate with you on. So when you were starting YouTube, were you just doing it full time right away, or were you like working? You said clients, so maybe you were a freelancer. Like, what was your work setup as you started YouTube? And if you had something going on, how did you manage YouTube and, the work?
Yeah, so it was quite simple because freelancing with like 2 agencies for years. Now with the projects, it's not that it slowed down, but I was quicker on like delivering the projects, and I could earn a little more than previous years. So let's say I had maybe not half of the day, but almost to also work on YouTube in parallel, depending the amount of work I had to do. But it was kind of easy. I didn't have to go out of my 9 to 5, feed the kids or whatever, and work 2 hours at night before going to bed. So yeah, no, it was easy, like to work on YouTube. YouTube was not easy.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. That's a fair sentiment. So yeah, you
Yeah,
just kind of like make it work with whatever you have going on. So you
yeah,
were
yeah,
in a situation where you had the client work during the day or whenever you wanted to fit it in, and then basically in the free time, you just effectively did the
yeah,
YouTube
exactly.
work. And I think a lot of people think they need to like spend all these hours on their channel or they need to quit their job. They need to fully commit to doing it 24/7 to make it work. But like, you have a partner, you had like the freelance work, so like you didn't have all the time in the world, but it sounded like, you just shifted your schedule to make it work.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
think that's a
exactly.
lot of people like need to realize that, you just basically have to allocate the time and like you said, be willing to put in the work. So
Mhm.
speaking of you putting in the work, if you're open to it, do you mind sharing what your biggest income month from YouTube is to date?
Yeah, so in dollars, it's 12,000. And I guess this month, maybe I'm on the road to hit 15K. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's not anything to laugh at. That's some pretty good income for sure, and I'm sure that allows
Yeah.
you to, cover your day to day, kind of allow you to save a little bit of money, and kind of feel like hopefully, slowly you're getting ahead there, based on all the effort that you put in, which is super cool. Because I mean, at some point, you were just like everyone else who had never run a YouTube channel before. You didn't have a lot of experience, but like, I can definitely attest to the fact that you're highly intrigued in making it work and putting in the time to make it work. And I think that's been like the key, just kind of tracking your journey over the last little while is you didn't want to take no for an answer. You're just like, I'm going to figure this out. And I think like that's not a trait that everyone has, but I've definitely noticed it in you, and that's why, you've gotten to this point. That's such an impressive feat. So, us working together, do you have any like takeaways of things that like maybe I taught you or just tangentially like what your experience has been that's kind of helped you get to that point of where you're at today?
Yeah. So the thing is that, let's say on my journey, maybe I was a bit too early inside your program. As we talked before, because of the tools available. So I've learned a lot, like, and you have the most detailed program ever. Like no one is close to this program. So I've done a lot of about YouTube automation, and like everything in between. So niches, formats, whatever, with all the data that you have. Um, and so this helped me like not last year when we started because I didn't have the tools I needed.
Mhm.
But right now, like I'm back to it. I have the tools, and I'm like, yeah, everything I've learned last September with you, now it's like I use it, and it's working. So uh, at the end, you give like the real basis for evergreen long term, like building YouTube as your business, the insights of how to navigate with YouTube, your channel, the ideation, niches, everything. And you don't need more than that. You need then to just have imagination, like how to navigate, use niche transfer, the formats and stuff. And yeah, you have all the tools within the program, and that's cool. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And you know, you put yourself in a position, obviously, going through the comprehensive training to then when the
Yeah.
opportunity got even more lucrative with all these new tools that are coming out for YouTube, you really took advantage, right? So you had to have
Yeah.
that base to then build upon going
Yeah.
forward. So I think like that's just a lot to like you
Yeah.
getting that really solid foundation and then, you know,
Yeah.
seeing the
But
opportunity with the
uh,
tools that exist now.
even I'm sure, like as a beginner, like last year when you go through your program, there is so much information that it's like, yeah, somehow maybe you have to skip some steps sometimes, like because like the best is to publish your first videos and test and stuff. And if you go through all the program, I feel like it's so much information. Like maybe you should skip some steps, put your first videos online. Obviously, like, the niche is so important, like don't skip that. But then come back to it. When you progress, you will find useful informations that maybe are a little too much when you start. But
Yeah.
otherwise, like everything is there.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that for sure. Definitely want to give people the tools they need to go from A
Yeah.
to Z.
Yeah.
So speaking on that, obviously you've had an incredible journey with YouTube. You've hit some incredible milestones as well, Yan. So, you know, you definitely have seen success with YouTube. So, so far, what has been the most like rewarding thing or most satisfying thing? What's been the best part about building a successful YouTube channel for yourself?
Yeah, so it's my last channel basically. I've been like a year ago, started with shorts and got my first 100K subscriber plaque with AI shorts. From there, I had a bit of struggles from the zero view jails and all that stuff. So I had to deal with like just changing my computer, as basic as that, but it's underrated sometimes. That's the only thing to do. And after that, I started again with AI stories, which are like an entry level to YouTube. Uh, was successful, luckily, but yeah, where I got the highest satisfaction is like my last channel because finally it's evergreen, it's finance, new packaging, by myself, always AI animated, and it's what I wish I had like a year ago, and I finally have it, and it works. And yeah, that's what
That's
I'm
the best
happy
part,
with.
eh?
And yeah, that's like opening everything to me right now because I know I made this one work, and I have like hundreds of opportunities based on the same framework now. So that's great.
I love that, Anne. You know, I think one of the things people overlook is just you're learning a skill that you can employ
Mhm.
across many channels. And so for you now to have the fundamental knowledge, now you have the experience, you have the success, and like you said, you can replicate it on so many different channels. The world definitely is your oyster at this point, and now
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
about, continuing on your YouTube journey. So,
Mhm.
Yan, I'm incredibly, incredibly proud of you. Thank you for jumping on the student interview, and I look forward to seeing what's coming next with your next channels, okay? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, since Yan and I got together and recorded that initial student success story, his channel has continued to take off, and I just wanted to share a quick income update for the channel and the progression. So, right now, as I'm recording this update, he is almost at 80,000 subscribers with just 83 videos. But the even better part is that his channel and his income has absolutely exploded. So, if you go over to the analytics, you can see that right now the channel has generated just in the last 30 days over 2.5 million views. And as you can see here, it is sporting a very strong RPM of just over $15. Again, that is typically the case during this time of year, and alternatively as well in this particular niche where the channel is focusing on a lot of financial topics. So as you can see here, the channel revenue for the last 30 days is $38,761. So as you can see here, clearly pulling in a substantial income, and that's before any opportunities for affiliates, for brand deals, for selling any products or services at all. That is just simply ad revenue from producing consistent high quality videos that are attractive to this channel's key demographics and target audience. So congrats, Yan, on building this very, very successful channel and using AI to be able to build it in an extremely profitable manner. So that is the channel update for Yan and his channel, Nick Invests.